Sorry for the interruption. I had a local guy come and see me. I wanted to talk a second about just a lot of the stuff that's in my basket, for Amazon basket. One of the things that I like to use is these squirrel cage fans for cooling amplifiers, even Class Ds this time of year, especially here in Arizona. It just gets hot. Right now we're doing a boat and we're putting the 5-channel Class D underneath the seat, and with a contained area like that, it's going to get hot. We know it's going to get hot, but you can delay the thermal shutoff by having a fan on there. Not that the exhaust is going to go anywhere, but again, moving air is like 3 times the convection of just nothing at all, and so that's why it's good to even just have one fan, let alone 2. But I like these squirrel cage type fans. I used to buy them from BG Micro for right around $8 to $12 each, and I've been looking for a version that I can start stocking for installs that I do here. One thing that I like about these side fire squirrel cage fans is that they're flat on the back side, so there's no intake on that side, so you can mount them flat and low, and on the mounting surface or wherever you're going to put the amplifier, and then they just blow. I have it blow on the side, because that's where all the devices are, on the inside of the amplifiers, on the side. If you can put one on each side, that helps. Again, it's one of those things that like you don't need, but it helps. So, I was going through some of the versions. These are good too. I like these. These, I think, let's see if it shows it says bestseller, about $12. There was, let's see. So these have the thing too, where you can put just long screws, hold it down, and then the intake is here, and then the output is there. I like this one because it has a nipple, and then you can use a hose to focus it. So if this intake is near, like, say, what's normally used to warm the feet in the passenger areas in the car, if you stuff with socks or whatever, that's what I've used before, is in the other vents, then it focuses it on that one vent. That's when you put it on foot or lower level, bi-level or lower level on the air conditioning settings up at the front. And basically you set it on foot or bi-level, so that way it blows on your face as well as on your feet. And then what it does is it basically focuses air on that, and then you can put one of these by the intake, one of those vents by the intake, and then you use a hose to get back to where you need it to go. And also using a hose means you don't have to actually put the fan inside the case, and sometimes that's convenient as well. But I wanted to show you one of the things about it. Typically you get the 12 volt. What you want to look for is the RPM and also the CFM. That's cubic feet per minute. A little bit of some of the rated current. I use the remote wire as a trigger, and then later you can use that remote wire to then trigger a relay, and then the relay is good for typically about 30 amps worth of current, so you can use it for all kinds of things, including lights or other stuff. You can also do a switch on it if you prefer, especially like if you want to switch on the LED lighting or some sort of decorative lighting, and then the fans or whatever. When back in the 90s, I actually got a digital thermometer from Radio Shack, and then I super glued the sensor, which was metal, onto the side of the amplifier, and then that way I could monitor the temperature. And then when I realized it got too hot, I think thermal on those was like 140 F. You'd get up to about 120, and then I'd flip it to bi-level, and it helped cool it off. So it was like a Rockford. It was that first or last retail amplifier that I bought, the RF Series 1 of 4600X. So, and then that thing was great. Real quick, I had the Jensen 12-inch sub. I think I had reviewed it in one of the magazines. The VAS was huge. It was like 7 cubic foot, but the FS was like 26 hertz. And so I put it in a sealed box, and then I added the LXR1 from Legacy to give it some bass boost and a little bit of crossover, because on the 4600X it didn't have a bass boost. That was the only difference between that and like the Punch series. But and then the other 2 channels ran the highs. Front I had like a Boston Acoustics that I got used B stock at the BX there on base. I was in the military. And then the rear was some, I think, Blue Thunder coaxials, and that was fine mixing them like that. Again, they don't know what brand they are, and they were really high performance, and they sounded great. I had that set up for quite some time. I think about at least 10 to 15 years. It was a 94 Kia Sophia, so that was my first car that I bought with Sherry. But real quick on these, 12 volt, what you also want to look for is 24 volts, sometimes, or even 18 volt. Let me see if they have 18 volt. Typically the standards are 24 volt. And sometimes you can find a better deal at those different voltages. The other one is 24 volt. Let me look that up real quick. What happens on the, see there, that's the deal that I was looking at. So 2 of those for $11 shipped. And then what happens is when they're 24 volt, right? They're rated for 24 volts, but you're gonna run them at 12 volts. So what happens is they run at half the speed, which is actually sometimes a good thing, because then what happens is, yes, your CFMs get cut in half. However, the dB, the noise level that they cause, they're not running as fast or as high. And so they're quieter, which is nice. And then it also, because their setup lifespan is for 24 volts and you're running them at half, it's not that it doubles your life expectancy, but it definitely extends it because you're not pushing it as hard, right? That's the idea behind getting like a 8,000 watt amp and then only using about 4,000 or 5,000 watts of it. It's going to perform better. It's going to last a lot longer, and it's definitely going to be cleaner. So, but I wanted to show you that. I also wanted to show you this. This was my old recommendation, but the price went up on it. It used to cost about $18. Now it's about $30. I have one that I used. I think I did that in the video last week when I was showing off the Recoil test bench. I still have this one. I use it. It's fine. Again, typically I use it for batch testing, where I get people that are not as skilled as I am to sit there and test woofer after woofer after woofer, and then I say just look for these results, and that's what we did on those dual woofers that we got. So, but let me show you a couple more tabs that I got. This is also a recommendation that I have. I actually have 2 of these. One is a backup, and it's the price, you cannot beat it for a load tester, and it's supposed to have a bunch of other things that use it. I still use the analog one from Harbor Freight, but these are good for other reasons, like for lithium, for the difference between AGM and all that kind of stuff. It's good for some other reasons, but for the price is really what is attractive for me. And I'll start putting links to items like these that I recommend, that I use, that I've bought. And typically I do enough research to find the best deal. If you find a better deal, please post the link so that we can all be better informed. One of the other things I wanted to show you was, well, there's that, that's the angle grinder that I buy like 3 or 4 at a time, and then I just keep them. Again, I clean more woofers than most people see all their lifetime. So, and I do that in a week. This was part of the, again, these will all be in the, in part of the description now, as part of the permanent links that I put in order for you to sort of save time and find a good deal on some of the things that I talk about. These are great little power supplies. I use them 12 volt input, and then they provide USB power. And then I use those with the Bluetooth 5. You can find, don't really look for Bluetooth 4 anymore. It's kind of outdated. It's at least 10 years old now. Bluetooth 5 is where it's at, and mostly because the chip then also offers send and receive depending on which version of the circuit board that you get. But the chip has those pins available for send and receive. And then also, if you do some more shopping, like not necessarily here, I mean, you can look on Amazon, but AliExpress is really good for that, where you can do a cascade of send receive. So one is the master, the rest are slaves, and they just are looking for the signal up to about, I think it's 10 meters, 30 feet. And you can cascade them in a matrix sort of formation so that you can have multiple like Bluetooth stations or something like that. That's a fun thing to do. Again, it's great. It's a great possibility for depending on your application. So, but you get 4 of these boards for 10 shipped. That's a pretty good deal. I think there was another one that I just bought that was about 5 boards for the same price. I'll see if I can find you that one. Also, a lot of these deals, they just evolve and they get better. And if you find a better deal, please let me know and I'll try to update the links. Let's see what else. That was the other one. Yeah, that was a really good one. 12 volts for $8.99, but I think that deal that was 2 for $11 was a better deal. And then let me go back to, yeah, this one. And these are 24 volt too. These are surplus. These were made for the inside of video games, the top, you know, like the uprights, things like that. Let me go back to my, that's not it. There was a, let me go back to my cart. I got some shit in my cart that I wanted. There's the other one. There's the alternative that I was looking at. These are also USB powered, or at least I think 9 volt powered. This one's probably USB because it comes with the cable. But this is the one that I liked. So I like this one, especially the price. It's only 27 bucks. And it looks a lot like a tricorder or something out of Star Wars. And I thought that was kind of cool. And the other thing that you want to look for or watch out for is there are other signal generators, but sometimes they're limited, like they don't have a frequency counter, and you're like, well, it's only 2. It's like 2. Like they'll sell just the PC boards. It also is like it won't have a frequency counter, but it also won't have sine wave. Like it's only square wave or sawtooth or something like that. So just be aware of what you're purchasing. Make sure you search sine wave when you are looking. Again, I think this is a really good deal for $27, and this is something that you'll keep for 10, 15, 20 years. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't break. There's no stress to it. It looks like it comes with a bunch of other rad shit, which is good. I also wanted to promote this one. I know this is made by Edge, and I want Larry or the guys at Recoil to import a knockoff or something similar like it, which is that it's an LOC. It's fine. It's a good quality version. This one is rated for 80 watts, or 90 watts, which is pushing it quite a bit. None of them really handle that kind of power, but we'll just go along with it for now. But I like these because they have the latching signal source, or what they call signal sensing. So that way you don't need a remote, which is often absent in some of these. For like a good 5, almost 10 years, Chevy got rid of the accessory wire. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they want you to buy this other aftermarket bullshit. So the other thing I like about it is it just has a simple headphone interface bass knob, which is exactly what you need. And then when doing the inputs on it, basically I just tie the 2 inputs together, the 2 positives together, 2 negatives together, and then you just tap off of one source. So, and then I was also looking at flag replacements. The last one I got was from Harbor Freight. I think I paid $5 or $6, and I did not like the quality. So I think I'm going to try this American-made one, and it was a reasonable price. I remember looking at a American-made flag at Walmart. They went at $36, and I'm like, yeah, you can fuck that. I'm just because some Mexicans made it here in America doesn't. Right? Who else is going to work in a flag factory in America, right? Big strong white men? No, there's a bunch of Mexican ladies. It's fine. I don't care, but I think it's funny when people make that assumption. It's like it's not going to be young, strong white men. And I think I was also looking at this, and then I was going to get another one of these. This is the new one that I was looking at, the controller module. If you don't want to buy the 500 amp, I think it's called Relay SRL 500. That one I sell for $60. This one you can add to any relay, especially if you have a legacy older relay that doesn't have a voltage sensing unit on it of when and when not to turn on. That's what this is for. Of course, it's also made for solar projects and things like that. It's very useful, but this is half the price of what I was paying for the other board, and so I just wanted to make this recommendation. And then I'm also going to try out the price went up. Shit. It was $39, but now it's $41. But that's still a good deal for basically a soldering iron, digital display on temperature, and then a hot air device, which is good for FET removal and things like that. I wouldn't really use that, but this is also good as just a like for heat shrink, because a lot of times, especially when I'm doing direct leads, you want some hot air in order to collapse the heat shrink. So, and then that's for my weed. It's not. It's for my plants. So, I did want to address this too. YouTube made a recommendation the other day about Park at the Base Head, which I find super annoying. And he stares at himself in the camera, which is kind of creepy, but whatever. He's a young person, so I'm not allowed to judge him too harshly. I actually really like these WLLDSE subs. I haven't made a recommendation simply because some of them require some modification. You need to add mass to them in order to get them to play low, like down to 30 hertz. And so the other one was that their quantities are quite small for somebody like me. And so when I buy them, I typically buy them all of whatever they have in stock. I like them. I flip them. They do pretty good. And the price is really good. Again, it just helps to have something like a woofer tester so that you can sort of monitor that. Not only for so that you can modify it in order to for resale, and also for to make sure it plays low enough, but also sometimes like you keep ordering this product and like 6 months it changes because they ran out of spiders, or someone at the factory thought there needed a change, or even at the design shop, which I think is out of Cleveland, if I remember right. Sometimes they'll make a change, right? Because they're like, hey, we want this thing to play lower, or sometimes we want this thing to handle more power, and so they'll put a stiffer spider in there. Again, the compromise with doing that is it doesn't play as low. I think that was that. And then that's the higher powered version that Parker the Basshead, he reviewed, I think the 15-inch version, which does require modification. It does in order to play down to 30 hertz. The 12-inch version actually was really good and played down to, I think, 31 hertz. And then the only thing that I would do is I cut off the outside cap, remove that, and I think there's a sticker on the back, remove that badging, and then it has an inner cap, and then I would put a carbon fiber cap on the outside, which I think would go right here along the edge, and it would look very similar to a lot of the woofers I was doing. This is my price, that's your price, and then I would resell for about $250. You can actually sell for even more than that. You can actually put them up against the W7, which of course goes for $1,400, and then you can sell them in the, like I said, they play to 31 hertz, so you can sell them for home theater, car audio, whatever you want, basically whatever you can get out of them. The sell price that I was selling them at, and this was like, they sold pretty quick, which was $250 shipped. It's not a lot of money, not a lot of markup, but if you can debadge that and then maybe get a carbon fiber cap from eBay or me or whatever, you can turn this into a really good money maker. So, but it's good, 1500 watts, 3-inch copper coil, and again, plays to 31 hertz. So I think that was it. I think that's what I wanted to show you. There's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to show you, but I wanted to get this done because I got my affiliate credit this month, and I was like, I want to spend this and use up a lot of this stuff, but I wanted to do the video first before I got rid of a lot of this stuff, because I'll just put delete. So this one I'm taking, this one I'll delete, but it reminds me to ask Recoil today. I got to go in there, and they wanted my help on I guess an 8-inch woofer that Larry F had designed, and they don't understand why Larry F did what he did, but I do. So, but anyways, this is still a good deal the price it is. I would hope that Recoil would price this at about $12, which is what they used to be priced at, or even $10. So, but this is a great product. I'm not really a fan of the guys at Scosche because they were real dicks to me, like force selling stuff to me. It was a bunch of bullshit. And I don't agree with the guys at Scosche. But again, the product is made by Edge, which is the parent company to Recoil, so it's all the same shit. So I think that was it. Again, I'll put links into this description, and I'll start putting more links to just like crimpers that I use or things that I recommend and all that kind of stuff. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.